Welcome back to another episode of Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Today, Christopher is going to be talking with Shari Cooper, an advocate for those who have speech impediment. So stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Christopher Cooley works with the Ohio Tech Ambassadors Program, and he brings in many different individuals who help those who are having some kind of disability or problems. Chris, it's always a pleasure talking with you.
Always my pleasure to be here, Patrick. Today, I reached out about a week ago to Shari Cooper and asked her to come on because she is a really big advocate of Ohio and all around the country. And she's been all different places advocating for people with disabilities and trying to bring awareness about access and accessibility. And so Shari today is going to talk a little bit about how to advocate with a speech impairment. So Shari, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about what you do.
Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here. Like Chris said, I'm Shari Cooper. I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and I work for Goodwill Easterseals. I've been with Goodwill Easterseals for about 23 years now. I'm a public relations assistant, and I do various things at Goodwill Easterseals. I do a lot of presentations for Goodwill Easterseals Miami Valley because we got so many programs and services to help people with disabilities and other needs. I do a lot of tours of the building because we got a building that was built on the principle of universal design, which means universal. It's accessible for anybody. You could be in a wheelchair or scooter, or maybe your mother with a baby, and you need accessibility to get around the building, such as automatic door opener or no bathroom, no doors to the bathroom, just to make everything easy.
Shari, can you tell us a little bit about advocacy with speech impairment? What do you mean by that?
I'm glad you asked me that. When you first reached out to me for a topic, that's the first topic that came to mind. Because as a person with a disability, if you have an impairment, sometimes people will mistake that for you not knowing what's going on. Just because people have a speech impairment doesn't mean they're not cognitive of what's going on. I have been in the store and people, just because I speak it differently, they ask whoever I'm with, what am I looking for, instead of asking me. So I think it's a misconception that people with disabilities have a cognitive disability as well, just because you can't speak well. So to take that as far as advocacy, I have been on many board, commissions, council, just to speak to the knowledge of if somebody has a speech impairment. Just listen, or it's other types of ways we communicate. Some people write it down, some people have augmented devices. I'm sure you know that, Chris, because you're a tech ambassador. So there's many ways of communicating. But if you got a speech impairment, I want your world to be cognitive, not to put that in the boat that a person don't know what's going on.
I know that, with a speech impairment, talking on the phone, people, tend to think that I'm a woman or I'm not who I am, I say I am. And that gets frustrating. And, in our community, I've seen a lot of individuals with speech impairment. If they are contacted with police or get in contact with ambulances, they tend to think that you're under some kind of a drug or alcohol that could be harmful to the individual trying to communicate. How can we be able to let the officers or the ambulance or the firemen know that you have a speech impairment when it arises?
That is a great question, Chris, and I get that a lot, especially over the phone. Like, if I gotta pay a bill, they ask me, "Well, where's your parent, honey?" Which is very condescending. I even had somebody say, "Have a good day, Mister." I'm a mister, but this conversation of people with speech impairment. So you ask me, how can we educate the public? I just think we just have to keep doing public awareness on this issue. Unfortunately, I don't think this will ever be an issue that will be solved, especially not in one day, and maybe not even in my lifetime. But the more we speak about it, the more people will understand it. Because you gotta remember, I was born with my cerebral palsy and my speech impairment. So it's never gonna change. But think about somebody who had a stroke. They may eventually have a speech impairment. And they gonna want people to advocate on their behalf too. So why not start here?
Shari, you mentioned cerebral palsy, and I know that cerebral palsy plays havoc with your muscles, your nervous system. Can you tell me more what cerebral palsy does to your body?
To make it easier, I always had to explain my cerebral palsy as a light bulb being out in my brain. You know how you screw out a light bulb and it goes dark and it don't work? Well, whatever light bulb that's in my head that makes me speak well, walk well, do all the physicality, I just think a light bulb is out. That's the way I see it. Now the doctors, they got a whole different scenario, but it's too technical for me. And they talk about nerve damage and, of course, oxygen, lack of oxygen. When I was born, I was without oxygen for 15 minutes because my mother's umbilical cord got wrapped around my neck. So they tell her I passed away, but they kept working on me and brought me back. So as far as cerebral palsy, the lack of oxygen for so many minutes causes cerebral palsy.
Thank you for helping me to understand. Cerebral palsy does a number of different impairments to individuals. Is that correct?
Right. Neurological.
Neurological. I know that I worked with an individual at the Ohio State University at the Cell Centers who has had cerebral palsy. He's one of the smartest persons I know, but he has a difficult time walking.
Right.
And so cerebral palsy can not only affect speech, but it also can affect motor control.
Right.
Oftentimes, we as individuals who are not around cerebral palsy individuals sometimes will draw conclusions if they have a speech impediment.
Right.
And I think until people get to know individuals, we tend to make too many rash judgments.
And then you have to follow a person's speech pattern. You might not understand me when you first meet me, but if you be around me for like 5 days, you will get to understand my speech pattern. If you ask me, it's just like a foreign language. You have to keep listening and learning till you pick it up. With a speech impairment, the more you listen and learn, the better you will understand.
Working at Goodwill as a public relations individual, how do you address individuals the first time they meet with you, and how can you help them overcome that fear?
Patrick, that's a good question. That's the first thing I do when I come across any individual I have to meet with one-on-one. I tell them, as you can tell, I have a speech impairment. But if you ask me, what did you say? I'm not going to get offended, because I actually want you to understand what I say. And by me telling them that, they make everything a lot easier, because most people don't want to ask a person with a speech impairment, what did you say? Because they think they being rude. But I would rather you ask me what did I say than assume what I said. That's just like going to the restaurant. If I order a burger and you bring me a steak, well, that means you didn't understand what I said. So you the waitress and you customer service, you supposed to be okay with asking the person what they want so you can get their order right. I have been through that so many times at a restaurant where they want to ask me, they ask my boyfriend or my sister or my mom, just ask me.
I know that you work with Easterseals and Goodwill. Other than that, what kind of advocacy out in the community? I noticed that you do a lot at the State House in March. So what other advocacy groups do you work with and help power?
Like you said, I do advocacy day at the State House. I've been the MC for 9 years for the DD awareness, the advocacy day. And it cracks me up because when I was first asked to do it, I know it was a few people saying, well, why is she going to do it? Because she had the speech impairment. And as you know, Chris, when we do DD awareness and advocacy, there is over, I want to say 600 people. Advocacy in myself and enough confidence to take on the job. You gotta have confidence in yourself. Okay, I can't speak well, but somebody else might speak better than I do and still can't maintain the crowd. Because advocacy day is a big job. You got to be on point at all times. So I'm proud of myself for being an MC. Now I have been called several places at MC, and I always crack up. Whoever would have thought the girl with a speech impairment is doing all the speeches? I just think it's so cool. You asked me what else I do. I'm very involved in my local Access Center for Independent Living. I was on the Dayton Disability Foundation board. I'm on the Gorman Hewitt Area board. And 2 years ago, I was approached by the Dayton Art Institute to sit on their board to help with their accessibility needs for the museum. So that has been really fun.
That's awesome, Sherry. I'm so impressed of how you push those doors open and advocate for those that need that help in advocating for themselves and showing others that it's okay to advocate for yourself. And when I see you up on that stage every March talking, it puts a smile on my face because not only 600 people sitting in front of you, but you have the news channels out there watching, and you have all the other communities watching over Zoom, and it just amazes me at how they get to see it. Look, no matter what, you can set your mind to do anything and be proud of what you do, and you prove that so many times. When I see that, it puts confidence in me, and it allows me to know I could keep on pushing too. And I learned a lot from you by seeing your videos and seeing you stand out there and push doors open many times. And there is a lot that I'm still learning. And I've been out there for a long time. Maybe not at 60 some years, but I've been out there.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that because I like seeing what you do as far as tech ambassador. When you are teaching the public, there's more than one way to do things. You might not do it the quote unquote typical way, but you can still get things done. And technology has really been a big part of my life, so I appreciate you being a great and tech ambassador.
Shari, in your position with Goodwill, what are some things that you do?
As I said earlier, I have a blog. I do a lot of, I give a lot of tours of the building. I go out in the community and give many presentations about our program and services. I do a lot. I love my job.
As a public relations individual, you're constantly involved in communicating with various different individuals, regardless of their own disabilities.
Right.
And you're an educator for those who don't have speech impediments. When you were growing up in school, did you have speech impediments?
Yes, I have always had a speech impairment. It was hard because kids are cool. They will say what they want to say. Yeah, but I had a good family support behind me. I had 4 brothers and 1 sister, and if I came home kind of sad and said, well, somebody was picking on me because I can't speak good, my brothers would say, well, you say this. I said, oh, I can't say that. My mother would not approve of that. They said, you say it anyway. So they taught me some really good lessons on how to defend myself. And I appreciate that. As big brothers do, they always gonna take care of their little sister. And they might not be the American way, but it was the Super Cooper way, and it really helped me. So being the baby of 4 brothers and 1 sister, I think that really helped me to speak to Because when you're in the house with 5 other kids, either you talk or you don't get what you want. So I learned how to talk.
We have more electronic devices now than we did when you were growing up. What are some of those technology things that you've seen come to fruition in your lifetime?
Well, my favorite piece of technology is my cell phone. My cell phone does everything from speaking a note to surfing the internet. My cell phone is the best piece of technology, and I got an iPhone. And if you look in your settings, they even have a feature called accessibility. So you can set whatever you need to your phone, to your needs. So I really love my cell phone. Another piece of technology, I have a mouse ball instead of a regular mouse, because the regular mouse was too hard for me to move. But the trackball is a lot easier. Again, on my computer, I had sticky keys. For people that don't know, you can hold down one button and hit another one. Like if you need an alt and delete sticky key to hold the alt while you hit the delete button. So this very thing on the computer tip has really helped me a lot.
What about phones? I'm assuming that you have no problem in hearing, correct?
I hear really good.
What kind of phone devices are available so that they can communicate?
I know Goodwill Easterseals, we have a lot of technology you could come and look at to help you hear a phone or to see the button on the phone. I'm sure the tech ambassador got a lot of stuff too. But as far as the iPhone and Android, they're so advanced today, you could probably get one and look up accessibility. I'm sure it's something set already within your phone to help you. We got so many programs and services, and they are growing by the day. So Goodwill Easterseals is a great source if you're looking for any kind of help to help you get a job or just maintain in your community.
Is there charges for those programs?
Most of the programs are free, and a lot of them, if you are working with the Ohio Opportunity, Ohio Opportunity for people with disabilities, I think you can get help from them if your case is open. If you with DD services and on a waiver, you can get help from them. Out of everything, somebody will find resources to help you get what you need.
Some words of wisdom you can give to the listening audience.
Words of wisdom. Keep talking. Keep using your voice to let people know what you need and what you want. Because if you don't use your voice, nobody's going to use it for you. So keep advocating. If you don't know how to advocate, ask for help. Get in some programs such as the self-determination program. Get in the program, People First of Ohio, who can teach you how to advocate for yourself. Because you got a long life to live, and you want to be able to speak up for yourself. So that's my words of wisdom.
Sounds like great words of wisdom. Chris, great guest that you have on. I really appreciate all the work that you do and allowing the guests to come on and share their information.
Patrick, it's a wonderful time to have individuals on, spreading awareness and learning from each other. And Shari, thank you for being here today. We learned a lot and got to be able to share some helpful tips to individuals that may be out there struggling today.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Patrick.
This is Technology for Independence with Christopher Cooley. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Shari.